Jeff, just before you go, I haven't been able to speak to you about the Eubank Jr. versus Ben rivalry being reunited, and there's been some developments since. First of all, just set the scene for me. What have you made of the press conference tour, which got the whole world talking surrounding the controversial moment of the strike involving an egg from Eubank
Yeah.
Jr. to the face of Conor Benn?
Uh, I think I don't think these two gentlemen honour their far superior boxing fathers in their behaviour. Connor by posting positive for two drug tests, and Chris by that ridiculous stunt of cracking an egg on the side of Ben the younger's face. Uh, they need to get their act together before the fight. And did this really need selling in such stupid ways?
Hmm.
Uh, I don't think so, because they're carrying these two great names, these two great the history and legacy of these two tremendous boxing fathers into this fight, which one wonders whether they'll be able to match the magnificence of their fathers.
There was the controversy surrounding the rehydration clause as well. Eubank Jr. has only the £10 to weigh in on the second day, which is early in the morning, but he says he weighs in around £14 heavier usually for his fights. How much impact do you feel this will have on Eubank Jr. on the night?
Uh, well, he's fighting a intrinsically smaller fighter than he usually fights,
Hmm.
so that will reduce that impact because Conor is between one and two weight divisions lighter than him by nature, so that shouldn't have such an impact. But I am astonished that that Chris has agreed to that, because after the controversy surrounding Connor's drug tests, he was in a position to demand whatever uh, clauses in the contract he would have wanted, in my opinion. Um, I'm surprised that he would have been. Yes, it's a great fight for him, and it's a great fight in the football stadium, and it has all the glamour that goes with that around it. But I'm surprised he would have been almost desperate to get that. If I'd been him, um, thank goodness I don't take the blows to the head that they do. I'd be even more stupid. But if I'd been him, I would have said, I want Connor drugs tested every day from the time that we signed the contract. And I would have also said, there's no rehydration clause on me, because I think he's probably he is the better of the two fighters, and he had other channels to pursue and could have been in line for world title fights, which Conor most certainly is not on his resume.
There was a moment in the first press conference where, no, it was the second press conference where, of course, the egg slap happened and Nigel Benn went to, I guess, confront Eubank Jr. Afterwards, at the second one, Eubank then said to Nigel, the older gentleman here, that if you do that again, you might not get your hand back. Did that verge on to that disrespect or of that kind of, I guess, moment that shouldn't have happened, I guess, things that shouldn't have been said?
Yes, I think the public have outgrown being whipped up by um, artificial controversy.
Hmm.
Yes, okay, they might not like each other too much, but since Tyson Fury did a wonderful job of self promotion and fight promotion by his extraordinary behavior, but it was clever. It was outlandish in some ways, but it was clever and bright and intelligent, and you could be amused by him along the way. There's been nothing funny about what these two are doing. They're just behaving like oafs.
The final thing I'd like to touch on here is, look, we've got Nigel Benn in the mix with obviously his son Conor Benn, but there's an absent figure, a big absent figure in the form of Eubank Sr. Do you believe he will entertain being around the fight week when it comes down to it?
Well, he's very much against the fight taking place,
Yeah.
uh, because what he believes what's Chris got to gain by fighting a smaller and less capable opponent. Of course, he's got to gain quite a lot of money, but within his principles of boxing, he's opposed to the fight. He's opposed to it also. The aftermath of Conor's positive drugs test, which have been partially called into question. So he's been partially cleared. But yes, he's against the fight. But I can't believe that he won't turn up to support his boy on the night. He's an eccentric character at the best of times, very entertainingly so. But he's more in the Fury category of outrageous than what's been going on between the two sons.
Which of the two do you feel has more of a chance to win a world title out of Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn? Because apparently the winner is going to be in line to face Canelo Alvarez.
We might take that last statement from one side of that fight with a pinch of salt. Either of them could be no more than a sort of interim fight for Canelo if he needs another one after he fights Terence Crawford. So we'll take that with a pinch of salt. The more likely, if he gets his focus and act together, the one who has the more talent and possibility to do it is Chris Eubank.
Jeff,
Conor's punching power was in question before a couple of knockouts of quite resilient American fighters. But that was at the time when he was coming under scrutiny with his dope test. His punching power hasn't been evident before or after that. At the moment, he doesn't look quite as muscular as he did at one point. So we'll see. He's going to need some serious power to overcome Chris's superior skills.
And do you believe that's the case, that Chris Eubank Jr. goes into the fight as the favourite?
Yes.
Jeff, I'll leave that there. We won't take too much more of your time. Thank you so much for your brilliant tributes to both Colin Hart and George Foreman and your take on Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. Look forward to seeing you in the flesh very soon.
Okay, Emma, me too. Pleasure as always.
Pleasure's all mine.